When my birth parents found me, I had just crawled out of a mine shaft. I was covered in coal dust, dirty and a mess. I could tell they weren't thrilled to see me. My birth father even said, "Get her another car. Don't let her dirty up ours." My birth mother tried to hide her disdain by pretending to care. She said, "You've been through a lot all these years, my child. Let's get you cleaned up, and then I'll take good care of you." Then they made a quick escape to their car. They also brought along their adopted son, Ken. He glanced at me, then at his black Maybach side and said, "Ride with me." There was a shower at the mine, so I could clean up and change before getting in the car. I mumbled my thanks and went to clean up. After changing clothes, I got into Ken's Maybach and headed to my birth parents' house. When we got there, I didn't see my birth parents. Instead, I saw someone about my age, named Lily, the girl they accidentally raised as their daughter. She approached me with a big smile and grabbed my hand, saying, "I guess I should call you sister now. Don't worry, I won't play the whole fake daughter thing. We're sisters and should get along." As she said this, she slipped a fruit knife in my hand and tried to make me stab her. Is this some bizarre welcome ritual? I'm lazy but strong, so she didn't succeed. She tugged harder, and when that didn't work, she blinked innocently at me and tried dragging my hand again. I pointed to the phone on my chest and said, "Recording," in as few words as possible. She got scared and let go immediately. Just then Ken came in. He saw the fruit knife in my hand and Lily's terrified expression. His face got a bit strange. I couldn't be bothered to explain, so I handed the knife back to Lily. "Brother, you're back. I got Sister Jo to make you some lotus seed porridge. I'll go get it for you," Lily said with a fake sweet smile. "Not hungry," Kim replied, then turned to me. "Becky, you hungry?" "Too lazy to eat," I said, collapsing onto the couch, pulling out snacks from my backpack, and munching like I had no will to live. That's my way. If I can sit, I won't stand. If I can lie down, I won't sit. "Tired?" Ken asked, looking concerned. "I'm okay," I replied, continuing to eat, tapping code on my tablet with one hand, while scrolling through videos on my phone with the other, occasionally popping a snack in my mouth. Ken and Lily both looked at me like I was some kind of alien. Lily walked over and said, seemingly kindly, "Sister, you've had it rough all these years. You don't know the upper class rules yet. If people see you like this, it'll embarrass the family. Don't worry, I'll teach you proper etiquette." Too lazy to learn, I yawned, then reminded her the mine's busy. "Aren't you going back to help your real folks?" To me, seeing birth parents was a must, hence why I returned. Yet it seemed like she didn't care about seeing her real parents. Her lips twitched, and her eyes watered as she said, "If you don't want me here, I'll leave." "Whatever," I shrugged, figuring she said she wouldn't play the faux daughter game. But she still wanted to compete. Compete for what though? Money. I wasn't interested. I'd love to tell her I didn't care about money, but I knew she wouldn't believe it, since nobody would. So I didn't bother explaining. Ken came over and sat next to me, saying Mom and Dad said they're heading abroad for a few days. They'll make it up to you when they get back. Don't overthink things. I nodded, feeling like my soul could just drift out any moment. Ken seemed a bit helpless, then turned to Lily and asked, "Is the room ready?" "Still prepping it, but I'm putting a lot into it for Sister, so it's taking time. Maybe let her stay in a guest room tonight?" Lily suggested, looking troubled. Ken frowned, possibly seeing through her little ploy. "Becky just got back. She shouldn't stay in a guest room. She's family, not a guest." "I see. In this house, I'm the outsider," Lily said and started crying. I saw Ken roll his eyes. I wanted to do the same, but couldn't be bothered. "I'll stay wherever. As long as there's a window that opens," I casually said. Ken sighed in relief, probably grateful I wasn't being difficult. "Pick any room except Mom and Dad's. I'll sort your room tomorrow myself." Still looking upset, Lily said, "Brother, I can also arrange Sister's room." Ken ignored her, saying to me, "I have a meeting at the company this afternoon. If you need anything tonight, let me know." I replied with a yeah, and continued lounging on the couch. Ken shook his head, perhaps finding my laziness amusing. He left quickly, suggesting he was pretty important at work. After he left, Lily said she'd show me a room she'd think I'd like. Sure, I reluctantly agreed. If I could lay completely bare in the living room, I would just stay there. I hate moving unnecessarily. I figured Lily would pull some trick, but I didn't care. True to form, She led me to a room on the second floor. It was clean, smelled faintly of orchids, and everything was neatly organized. Clearly, the room's owner was a neat freak with OCD. Based on my observations, that could only be Ken. Indeed, I spotted a photo of Ken on the desk soon after. I glanced at Lily knowingly, thinking she must think I'm clueless and can't tell it's Ken's room. Lily acted like she didn't notice anything, smiled at me, and said, "Sis, if you think this place is good, just rest for a while." "All right." I nodded. I knew she was setting me up, but I was just too lazy to find another room. I really wanted a shower and then just lie in bed like a corpse. Lily couldn't help but laugh and quickly ran out, worried I might change my mind. I took a shower and then collapsed onto the bed. Later, when it got dark, I was woken up by Ken's soft cough. He was standing by the bed in a black custom suit, looking pretty serious, waiting for me to explain. Lily was beside him, whispering, "Bro." I couldn't help it. "Sis insisted on staying in your room. I told her you were a neat freak, but she wouldn't listen." "Is it comfortable?" Ken held back for a while, then surprisingly asked those 3 words. I thought he'd be mad, given how hard Lily was trying to stir things up. I rubbed my eyes, nodded seriously, and said, "Comfortable. The incense helps me sleep." "Then you can stay here." Ken gave me a surprising look, as if he didn't expect me to know about the sleep-aiding incense. Lily seemed a bit upset and said, "Bro, when I used to enter your room, you didn't like it. Why can she sleep here? Are you hungry?" Ken ignored her and asked me with a smile. I nodded and added, "I don't want to get out of bed." "Okay, I'll bring something up." Ken nodded, turned and left. Lily widened her eyes and gritted her teeth, asking, "Why is he treating you so well right after you come back? He's a neat freak, but lets you sleep in his bed and even eat there. Why?" I couldn't be bothered to say anything, and just pulled out my phone to watch videos. Lily felt like a clown but didn't leave, hoping to see how I'd eat on Ken's bed. Soon, Ken came in pushing a cart with a little table that could be pulled out. I just had to sit up and eat. I sat up sluggishly, rinsed my mouth, and then started eating. Ken went to the desk to work on his laptop, not paying me any attention. Lily came over and picked up some juice from the cart. I knew she wanted to mess with me, probably intending to spill juice on the bed and blame me to Ken. Although I didn't know how Ken would react, I knew that if she succeeded, I'd have to switch rooms. Too lazy to move, I aimed my phone at her. Lily froze with a sheepish grin and handed me the juice. "Drink some juice, sis." "No thanks." I glanced at Ken, who was looking back at me. In that brief eye contact, I noticed his eyes were beautiful, deep as if seeing right through you. "Lily, you've got college entrance exams, don't you have to study?" Ken said. Lily twitched her mouth, realizing she was being dismissed, and left. After eating, a housekeeper came in to clean up. Then I was back at it, coding with one hand and scrolling my phone with the other. Before I knew it, over 3 hours had passed. Feeling sleepy again, I decided to shower and sleep. Ken finished his work and placed a bottle of supplements by the bed. "For brain health," he said. "Thanks, bro." I looked at him puzzled. Weird, how did he know I need brain health supplements? He was already out of the room, so I didn't bother asking, just showered, took the supplements, and went to sleep. In the following days, I barely left the room. Lily kept trying to cause trouble, but never got the chance. Ken, on the other hand, worked in the room daily, though we rarely talked. One day, while I was still sleeping, my covers were suddenly yanked off. Startled, I saw my biological parents had returned. My dad was the one who pulled the blanket. "Why are you sleeping here?" he scolded. Despite Ken being an adopted child, you have to mind appearances, especially as the real daughter. If people knew you're sleeping in your brother's room immediately after coming back, it would be disgraceful. Lily added fuel to the fire. Mom looked grief-stricken, crying, "How could my real daughter turn out like this? I don't want to live like this." Dad scolded, "You're at an age to study. Why are your thoughts so improper? Get up." I pulled the covers back over me, pressed a few buttons on my phone, and the room darkened. The projector displayed the room's surveillance footage. It showed everything from Lily bringing me into this room until now. I was too lazy to talk, but didn't want to be falsely accused either. Seeing the footage, my parents glanced at Lily, clearly changing their expressions. But Dad continued, "Your sister brought you here to give you a good environment. but you have to avoid suspicion too. They sighed, blaming it on me growing up in the countryside, having no sense of decorum, and not considering others. I finally understood. They didn't care about right or wrong, they just didn't like me. But if that's the case, why did they stubbornly bring me back? I was too tired to argue, but Ken came back and saved me from the situation. However, when they left, I overheard Dad saying something unpleasant about how I need to be more proper, since I'll be used to marry into another family as a bargaining chip. My reputation would be worthless if ruined. I saw Ken's side profile upon hearing this, expressionless as if he had no life left in him. Then I was called down to eat. At the table, my parents sat Lily between them, looking more like a family of three. Lily was charming, saying all the right things to make them happy. My parents kept glancing at me disappointedly, and then back at Lily with satisfaction, clearly comparing us. Suddenly Lily asked, "Did you study while you were in the countryside?" "Graduated," I responded nonchalantly. Dad frowned, saying, "You're the same age as Lily, and she's in her senior year. How did you graduate then? What did you study?" "Computer science and welding," I answered honestly. Dad slammed the table, saying kids from our family shouldn't be learning. How can you learn something like welding that's considered unworthy? My mom chimed in quickly. Lily's in her senior year at a prestigious high school. She's got a good chance of getting into a top university. You should just go and hang out for half a year. Even if she doesn't make it into a great college, your dad and I will donate a building. That way, you can still attend a decent school and get a degree. But I've already graduated. I wanted to tell them I was in the youth program, graduated a long time ago, and even started working. This trip home is just a family visit. Soon I'll be back at work. My workplace is super secret, on a high level. I can't even talk about it. Plus, I'm lazy, so I didn't explain. Dad slammed the table, furious. "How dare you talk back? I've made up my mind, you start high school again tomorrow." While they're sending me back for a redo. And if I remember right, I visited that same high school as a guest speaker after I graduated. I'd really love to see the principal's face if they find out I'm back as a student. Right then we had visitors, a wealthy-looking middle-aged couple, and a guy about Ken's age. He was decent-looking but with hollow pale eyes, like he was drained from too much partying. I noticed Ken looked really uncomfortable seeing the woman. An arranged marriage, maybe? By now, everyone had exchanged greetings, and the couple seemed to like Lily a lot. But the woman kept staring at Ken, occasionally licking her lips. Creepy. Seeing I hadn't gotten up, Dad frowned and said that my name was Becky, the daughter they lost and just found again. He said I had no manners and told me to greet them. I called them uncle and aunt, but it was pretty half-hearted. Lily introduced the woman, saying, "This is our future sister-in-law." I glanced at the creepy woman, then at pale Ken. That's when I decided to get up. Ken looked at me, seemingly pleading for help. So I walked over, held his face, and kissed him straight on. Everyone froze like statues. I stood up straight, put my hand on Ken's shoulder, and told them, "This is Ken. He's my boyfriend." Then there was just dead silence. The creepy woman, whose name is Wendy, charged at me yelling, "How dare you kiss my fiancé?" Picking up a plate from the table, I quickly pushed Lily into the line of fire. The plate smashed right on Lily's head, shattering, and she yelped, holding her head and crying with blood between her fingers. I pulled Ken up and shielded him behind me, telling them in a dry tone, "Ken and I have been together for a long time. I live in his room. If you don't believe me, you can ask around." Dad was too angry to speak. Mom, a crybaby, sat and wept, saying it was a disgrace to the family. Wendy's family, feeling awkward, left immediately. The dining room stayed silent. I held Ken's trembling hand, unsure if he was scared or excited. Dad glared at me. "Are you trying to ruin us?" I replied with the same dry tone. "Ken is my boyfriend. Nobody's gonna take him away." I started pulling Ken out with me. Lily ran over and blocked our way. "You can't do this. I can't let you hurt our family like this." I just kicked her, and she flew back. I turned to my biological parents and said, "I don't ask for much from this family. Just Ken." With that, I dragged Ken away, not giving them a chance to argue. We sat on the bed, staring at each other. I finally said, "I know you don't want this marriage." Ken pursed his lips, looking really handsome, just like a Ken doll. Just that simple gesture made me want to kiss him again. The kiss earlier was soft, cool, and a little magnetic. Why do you help me? Ken finally asked. Because you're a neat freak, and my parents look down on me. But you let me ride in your car. Your room is so clean, but you let me sleep there even though I'm a mess. You're always concerned about me when I'm stressed. So, you treat me well, I treat you well. That's what my adoptive parents taught me. What about the future? Ken asked. Everything's controlled by my parents. I confidently said don't worry about them. If you're willing, I'll take you somewhere they can't control your life. Ken hesitated, but didn't say more. I was curious about his thoughts, but didn't know how to ask. The next morning Ken woke me up. He slept beside me, though we didn't do anything. I'm a little bold, but too sleepy to care, crashed immediately. After washing up, we went downstairs. I held Ken's hand to squash my parents' hopes of the arranged marriage. Their faces looked grim seeing us, especially Dad's. As soon as Ken sat, Dad said, Ken, your position at the company is gone, and your cards will be frozen. Mom tried a softer approach, saying, Ken, listen to us and agree to the marriage. We all know Becky's faking it. Not too bright, but they caught on. Dad added, without your job, you'll lose face in social circles. Without your cards, you can't maintain your lavish life. Can you handle that? Ken just kept his head down, quietly eating breakfast, silently resisting. I rummaged in my pocket for a card, put it in front of him, and said, spend as you like. Lily couldn't help but sneer, sis, how much could you have? Your foster parents were just minors, right? No offense, but minors aren't rich. I coldly retorted, those dirty minors are your birth parents. Lily's face tightened, then she said, birth parents aren't as important as those who raised me. She looked at our parents and said, you're my real mom and dad. They nodded approvingly, but I saw disdain in their eyes. Who'd care about the affection from someone who won't acknowledge their own parents? I felt sad for my foster parents, who wish Lily would come back to them. Lily stared at me and said, it's you. Big sis, you're the Smiths member. The future of the Smiths is going to be on us, so you've got to work hard. Let brother get married. I shot her a deep look and said, when I'm too lazy to talk, I might start swinging. Don't test me. It seemed like she recalled getting kicked by me yesterday, because she kept quiet. Mom and Dad, though, didn't protect me any further. You could tell they didn't really like me, but they cared. After all, I'm the one with the family's bloodline, the legit heir. No matter how likable Lily is, they're not handing over the company to her. My foster parents told me that in these big-rooted families, bloodlines matter a lot. After breakfast, Mom and Dad offered to take me to school. Lily quickly jumped in, Mom, Dad, I know the school. Let me take her. No need to trouble yourselves. Mom replied, that's not proper. It's her first day. If we're not present, she won't be respected. Dad nodded in agreement. Exactly. We'll drive her and make sure everyone knows she's our real daughter. Lily clenched her fists, looking upset, but didn't have the nerve to argue. An hour later, we pulled up at the school's entrance. The new students were all neatly lined up to enter, and the school leaders were already waiting at the gate. There was even a banner that said welcome for guidance. With my enrollment, they had to hand my info, including a photo, to the school. Dad, you've got clout, taking big sis to school, and all the leaders are here to greet us, Lily chimed in, thinking the banner was for my dad. My dad perked up but was a bit fuzzy inside, as a principal from a top school wouldn't usually roll out such VIP treatment. Lily added, I've been doing great, so maybe they're impressed too. But don't worry, I won't let it get to my head. Mom nodded, yes, you're doing amazing. Becky, learn from your sister. Dad didn't say much because he figured even top performers don't get this kind of treatment, especially not publicly. Ken quietly approached and whispered, what's going on? I grinned, they're welcoming me. And Ken totally bought it. As we approached, Dad extended his hand towards the principal, but the principal walked right past him, came up to me, and bowed to shake my hand. We'd heard you were coming home for a visit, extended an invitation, but you declined. Never thought you'd actually enroll here. Other computer science teachers eagerly followed, shaking my hand, and immediately throwing various challenges my way. My parents and Lily froze in shock while Ken seemed unfazed, just giving me this charming grin. Dad couldn't resist asking the principal if there was some mistake, reminding him that I'm his daughter. That's right, the principal replied cryptically. As we went inside, he led us to the school's small auditorium, seated me at the head table, and laid out a spread of treats and candies. Again Dad pressed, "What's going on here?" Principal Davis chuckled, "Come on, Ken. Your daughter's achievements in computer science are newsworthy. And you don't even know? My parents didn't pry much after learning I was their biological child, because they thought less of me, hearing I'd been raised by minors." Lily blurted out, "Who let you in?" Principal Davis pointed to the door out. "No one comes in without my say-so." Lily's face went pale, realizing she had been showing off for nothing. She slunk off embarrassed. But Davis eyed Ken again. I swiftly clarified, "He's my boyfriend." Davis nodded, showing more respect to Ken. "Dad, press once more please. What's this all about?" Principal Davis explained. Becky entered the youth group at 11, joined the workforce 2 years later, and led a whole project the year after. 3 years ago, during a family visit, she guided us in our computer science feats. Our school's progress is built on her groundwork. He gave Dad a puzzled glance. "It's crazy you don't know." Dad's eyes bugged out. Mom looked equally astounded, and even Ken was blown away. "You're this skilled?" he asked. I nodded, not saying much, just snacking and sharing some with Ken. "We only just reunited with Becky, so we don't know much," Dad said sheepishly, but now he was filled with pride. Mom gazed at me warmly. "Well, it seems I don't need to attend school per se, but now that I'm here, I might as well help resolve some school issues." Both parents accompanied us throughout, telling everyone we met that I was their pride and joy. I noticed Lily lurking, sulking nearby. Toward evening, I finally got a break. As we headed home, Mom and Dad sat on either side, beaming with pride, unsure how to strike up a conversation. I'm the type who might just relax into laziness, so I leaned back, eyes shut, relaxing. But I could feel someone's glare. I peeked to catch Lily glaring daggers at me. Back home, my parents wanted to shout my existence to the world. I hinted they could brag about the youth class and my computer expertise, but to keep it concise because of confidentiality. They caught on right away. I ran off to make a call and brag a little. I slouched on the couch and scrolled through my phone. Kim was right next to me, feeding me sweets from time to time. Lily wandered around with a gloomy face for a while, but couldn't bring herself to say anything. Once dinner was ready, we headed to the dining room. Immediately Lily said, "Mom, Dad, I will definitely be as excellent as my sister." She joined the youth class at 11, and now I'm 18. "Mom," somewhat sharply said Lily, "you need to understand sometimes effort is worthless compared to talent." Dad nodded. "It'd be great if you could aim for a prestigious university, but it's okay if you don't. We're not worried about that anymore." They didn't need Lily to uphold the family's reputation now, because academically, no one could surpass me. Lily looked furious, her eyes red like she wanted to set me on fire. Mom and Dad noticed too. "Lily, you need to know your place," Dad reminded. Mom added, "Our family keeping you around is already out of respect. If you harm Becky, we won't be polite." Lily looked devastated, gripping her dinner knife, eyes filled with hatred towards me. Suddenly the nanny Lucy, who'd only been with us for 3 days and came because I was visiting, pulled a gun on Lily. Lucy said, "If I see any animosity towards the chief engineer, I will eliminate you." My parents were scared stiff, not expecting I had protection at home. Ken got a little scared too, and snuggled closer to me. I waved for Lucy to leave, then turned to Lily. "You're worried I'll take what's yours now that I'm back. But have I? All I need is for you not to be part of Ken's family," I said. "This household means nothing to you. They'd rather leave the inheritance to extended family than you. That's guaranteed. And I don't care about money, because we want different things. A word of advice, don't harbor any ill will toward me, or you may die. Besides having people protecting me here, there are also snipers watching this place," I emphasized. "Oh, and something you all might not know, my adoptive parents aren't miners. They own the coal mine. They're actually wealthier than you all." My words left everyone speechless again. Dad asked, surprised, "Then why were you down the mine the day we picked you up?" I explained, I designed the mine's safety system, and was down there for testing. You know I'm lazy, so I couldn't be mining. It frustrated me. Lily, on the other hand, was excitedly asking, "Are you saying my biological parents are wealthy?" Yep, I nodded. "But remember, we have younger siblings. You'll get what's rightfully yours but no more. I advise you not to fight for what isn't yours. They thought I lived a tough life growing up. But in reality, I was raised in extreme prosperity, with adoptive parents who treated me well, and siblings I had a great relationship with. I even gave Ken a card loaded with billions. I never lacked money nor love. Lily was silent for a long while, then suddenly stood up and said she wanted to leave. As you wish, I said, knowing her reaction. Half a month later, I was summoned urgently, and I took Ken, whom I chose as my life assistant, with me. Before leaving, I visited my adoptive parents, who weren't too happy. It turned out Lily was being cunning and trying to claim the family assets barely back home. I felt awkward because technically, this matter wasn't mine anymore. My adoptive parents sensed my dilemma, comforting me and saying I was always their biological daughter in their eyes. Knowing about me and Ken, they gave Ken meeting gifts, money, and properties, leaving him dizzy. Before heading out, I talked to Lily once more, mostly warning her to behave. But I could tell her ambition and self-absorption were too much. I couldn't bother with any of this, so I left for work that same night. 3 years later, Ken and I finally took a vacation, first visiting Ken's family, formally reconnecting. Later, our families came together to discuss mine and Ken's wedding. Given my special circumstances, it was a low-key affair, not even inviting family members. Lily surprised me by becoming more composed and less self-centered. Upon asking, I learned my adoptive siblings had straightened her out. Over time, being with my foster family changed her. Her selfish nature had turned considerate due to their influence. Ken and I stayed at home for 7 days, then left for work-related errands. For over 3 months, we returned to our workplace, and after several years of work, as the project wrapped up, I got pregnant and took a break. This life, busy but fulfilling and happy, is rewarding, my hard work worthwhile. The end.